So last Thursday, Boris Johnson told the European Union that the UK are walking away from the trade talks, and then Thursday and Friday, you've had the chief negotiator for the EU, Michel Barnier, but also the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, saying that, oh, we're coming to London on Monday to have a chat. To make sure that the UK would change their mind and cancel this no deal Brexit stuff that's been going on. On the same night, we had David Frost, Lord Frost, the chief negotiator for the UK, saying that the UK got. This is according to Adam Parsons, and that was confirmed by the government, that Lord Frost has spoken to Michel Barnier and told him not to bother coming to London on Monday for more talks. Now, there were a lot of speculations throughout the whole weekend. A lot of people said, "Oh, the government just saying that, just play, kind of hardball." So this is Monday now. Guess where Michel Barnier is today? Is he in London? No, he is still in Brussels. So he tweeted this earlier, saying, "Good to meet the commissioner, one of the commissioners, to essentially talk about their financial services as well as the state of play of the negotiations with the UK." So basically, he couldn't come to London. He wasn't allowed to come to London to talk to Lord Frost and Boris Johnson. So he's sitting there in his own office, just saying, "Oh, I'm doing Brexit, guys, without you. I don't need you. I can do Brexit on my own." Now, the government today decided to take a different approach. They have officially triggered no deal Brexit. They have started the campaign, a public campaign to prepare the businesses across the country. A publicity campaign entitled "Time is Running Out" is being launched, and HMRC is writing to 200,000 firms to set out the new customs and tax rules coming into force. So the details of it, towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you all the information of what this campaign is actually going to be doing. But the reactions that we've had so far to this move is quite fascinating, because Michael Gove himself, who's essentially running this no deal campaign, has said, at the end of this year, we are leaving the EU single market and customs union, and this means there are both new challenges and new opportunities for businesses. Make no mistake, there are changes coming in just 75 days, and time is running out for businesses to act. So they're quite serious about this. At this point, the government have, and to be fair, I've been skeptical, but I'm quite confident with the way they've been publicizing this whole thing. You're either going to have a WTO Brexit, no deal Brexit, or they're going to force the European Union to go back to the Canada arrangement. That who came up with the idea of the Canada plus plus plus? The Canada style trade deal. Was it us? Was it Canada? Was it America? No. Back in 2018, the European Union, Charles Michel himself, said this: "From the very beginning, the EU offer has been a Canada plus 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 deal, much further reaching on trade, internal security, and foreign policy cooperation. This is a true measure of respect, and this offer remains in place." Really? So over the last year, Boris Johnson's team have been asking for a Canada-style trade deal, Canada plus plus plus. Same thing that you've been saying. This is 2018. You had Donald Tusk talking about this in 2017. You had Michel Barnier talking about this until 2019. And now you are saying that no, you either have to be a non-member, essentially, political alignment with everything, the European Court of Justice jurisdiction over UK law. And now you're saying, oh, this was always the plan anyway. So I have a feeling that they're going to come back and essentially offer us a Canada-style trade deal to avoid no deal, which is fine. But we'll have to wait and see. We still have a few weeks left to go, a couple of months left to go. But this continues because the European Union are not in a strong position anymore. Do you remember back in 2016 when we voted to leave? The Remainers said that companies will leave the UK and European companies don't want to work with us anymore. And that's why the European Union are in a stronger position. Oh, really? The latest we have is that more than 1,000 EU firms are planning to have their first ever UK offices after Brexit, whether there's a deal or not. So this is not really going well, not just for Ramonas, but for the European Union's negotiating team. So essentially the reality is more than 1,400 EU-based firms have applied for permission to operate in the UK after Brexit, with over 1,000 of them planning to establish their first ever UK office. Now, the Freedom of Information requested figures coming from there seen evidence that the UK will continue to be a leading player on the global financial stage after we leave the EU properly. Now, the FOI revealed that by October 2019, last year, the FCA had received a total of 1,441 applications from companies to use their temporary permission regime. Interesting. So all the fear mongering didn't really work. Now the only obstacle you have right now, technically for the European Union to get a deal from us, is one person primarily, President Macron. So he's not budging. Obviously, he wants fisheries. He wants free access to UK waters to take our fish. Not that we're going to be a sovereign, independent nation. Doesn't really matter. He just wants our fish. And now that we've said no, and now that we've walked away from the trade talks, he's making things a lot worse for themselves. So he's now trying to punish the UK with a threat to damage the UK's energy sector. That's very mature of Macron. So he says that if you don't give us fisheries, we're going to play with your energy sector because that's what you do in a the diplomatic world of democracy where you have the United Nations and World Trade Organization. So essentially, following the EU summit in Brussels on Friday, Macron told one of the French radio stations that if the UK does not allow French fishermen in its waters, seriously, the EU would have to block the UK's energy supplies to the European market. He suggests that the right to fish in British waters was worth 650 million euros to EU fishermen, but that access to European energy markets was worth up to 2.3 billion pounds, essentially, to the UK. Firstly, that makes absolutely no sense, because if it was supposed to be eye for an eye, that doesn't really apply here. And you do realize if you block our energy sector, you're going to hit the consumers in Europe. This guy has absolutely no idea how economics works, apparently. Now, you think that's bad. The European Union have other priorities. It's not Brexit, it's not the lockdown measures, economic crisis. It's veggie burgers. So, the European Union are now currently having a massive debate among themselves about veggie burgers, because they want to ban them, but not ban the use of the word. So the reality is, let's have a look at the priorities. Just over 700 people in the European Parliament are to sit and discuss, apparently with straight faces, to whether a vegan sausage is actually a sausage in the next few days. Meanwhile, unless something dramatically changes, not one person will be going to prison. So I'm trying to keep a straight face here. So there are all these debates about Brexit, about other trade negotiations with South American countries, with WTO, and these guys are sat there in the European Parliament discussing vegan sausages and vegan burgers because they want to change their name. Seriously, this is not a proper economic partner that we're dealing with. Now, going back to the government, making things more serious again, we are obviously they have launched this campaign, a no deal campaign, to prepare the businesses across the country. We got those bullet points from the government. So they say, if you sell goods to the EU, you must prepare for new customs procedures. If you travel to the EU for work purposes, you will need to check if you need a visa. If you employ overseas nationals, you will need to prepare your business for the implementation of the new migration system. From the beginning of the year 2021, if you want to hire anyone from outside the UK, then you must be a Home Office licensed sponsor. If you are a UK business or organisation that receives personal data from contacts in the EEA, you may need to take extra steps to ensure that the data can continue to flow legally. And also, if you provide services in the EU, you must ensure that your qualifications are now recognised by EU regulations. Basically, we are now completely getting divorced when it comes to every aspect of EU regulations, EU standards, EU law, and this is what this government's new campaign is talking about. So this is all good news. Essentially, at this point, the way things are going, I can confirm that we are either going to have a WTO no deal Brexit, at least temporarily until they come back to us, or they will come back to us between now and December, because today Michel Barnier called Lord Frost to talk to him about the whole situation, beg him to come back to the table. So you're either going to have no deal or you're going to have Canada-style trade deal. So it's either going to be between a Canada-style actual trade deal or an Australian-style no deal Brexit based on WTO terms. I'm happy with either. This is good for UK business and it's good for global trade and global Britain. Thanks again for watching. And the next video, which I will upload at 8 p.m. tonight after this, we attended a rally from the hospitality sector in central London outside Parliament because they were concerned about the government's lockdown measures, especially tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all this stuff, and the 10 p.m. curfew. We interviewed a number of people, so make sure to tune in, watch that video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.